great lunch. Mine was terrific.
How was mine?
Just as good.
And mine?
I don't know, I got it in the esky for later.
The lunch was execrable. Yesterday, I saw our alleged cook actually getting things out of the wheelie bins.
Well, don't you want that?
You can't have it. I'm setting it off for a post-mortem. That lamb did not die of natural causes. Sort of going on my committee agenda, along with Darcy. His substance abuse is getting out of control.
There's nothing wrong with Darcy. He's a good bloke.
Yesterday, I found him sharing a mushroom with a garden gnome.
He's just being generous. Anyway, I thought the lunch was really good.
Oh, you would. I've seen you scrape things off the road.
You have not.
Yeah, but you had a good long look at that possum by the bus stop.
There's nothing wrong with possums. In the Depression, whole towns would fight for a dead possum.
Oh, bull.
Oh, it's true. My Uncle Alan lost an ear in the Great Possum Riot of 1935.
Oh, how awful. Did he get it back?
No, somebody ate it.
Why?
They ran out of possums, of course.
I've nibbled a few ears in my time, but I've never actually eaten one. Feel like a touch of ear nibbling, Teddy, darling.
Watch it. These are my ears. If anybody's going to be nibbling them, it's going to be me.
If your tongue can reach your ears, Teddy, darling, I'll be a friend for life.
Great galloping goannas. They've given an Order of Australia to that wanker, Godfrey Oxford.
Oh, darling.
Godfrey bloody Oxford, the president of the Royal Oak Residents Association, for services to senior citizens and the footwear industry.
Oh, that's nice.
Footwear industry? The man made fluffy slippers out of dead sheep. Nothing more than a door-to-door Ugg boot salesman.
I bought a pair once. They were very comfy, but sadly I had to let them go to another home. Winston, our bulldog, kept attacking them. Well, more embracing them. You know, trying to breed with them.
Winston was a disgusting animal. Only dog that slobbered from both ends. I feel betrayed. My queen has given a gong to a fraudulent...
What do you mean, your queen?
The Queen. Her Majesty, the Queen of Australia.
How can you be Queen of Australia? She's a pom. She ever had a Chico roll?
How dare you? I mean, the whole system is obviously seriously flawed. What about my services to industry and how I've enriched the life of every Australian?
You made fridge magnets.
The Johnston domestic signage system brought small business to the Australian kitchen. And if Godfrey bloody Oxford can get a gong, then I can.
Oh, but Jono, darling, they don't just chuck these awards around. They have to be earned, like Logie.
What did you have to do to earn your Logie?
Oh, it was ugly, Muriel. But I was a desperate woman. Lorraine Desmond was winning everything in sight.
So you had to do something awful.
No, it was wonderful. It's just I had to do it so many times. Anyway, Jono, darling, as I understand the honours system, you have to be secretly nominated by your peers.
Ted'll do it.
What?
Secretly nominate me for an Order of Australia.
I wouldn't nominate you for an order of fish and chips. Give me one good reason I should.
$50.
Where do I sign?
You can see it now. The Queen's birthday honours list. Order of Australia, John Kazaley Johnston.
That'd be right. Up you, Kazaley.
And it's not just for fridge magnets. It's my other work with senior citizens and fundraising for the church I'll be rewarded for.
One of my husbands was in the church.
You married a priest?
An Anglican, Muriel. They're allowed to, you know. Oh, Bertie was a nice man, but very unadventurous out of his work clothes. He was a missionary.
Yes, well, I don't think we need to go into that.
That's what he said. Consequently, the whole marriage was a disaster. The entire time we were together was a total nightmare.
How long were you married?
Oh, let me think. It was March 17, 1963, so that would make it, 10 long days. No, I tell a lie. It was 11 days. I had to go back to pick up my hot rollers.
Good afternoon, everybody. And you, Mr. Bullpit.
Yeah.
Oh, well granted, Mr. Bullpit. Soon you'll be going for a complete word.
Listen, girlie, I know words I've never even heard of, so watch it.
Good. Anyway, good news. You'll recall, Mr. Johnston, that as president of the Residents Association, you wrote to Graham Kennedy asking him to open our fete.
And good old Graham's come through.
I just got this reply.
Oh, he faxed us.
Well, that's close to what he said. But we do have an excellent substitute. His Grace, Sir something or other, the Archbishop of London.
An Archbishop and a knight. Oh, that'll stick it right up those Royal Oak wankers. The best they could get was the Demtel man.
He's visiting Australia for Amnesty International, and he just happens to have gone to university with the chairman.
I'd rather have the Demtel man.
But wait, there's more. He's going to dine with us and then give us a talk about his Nobel Prize-winning work in Africa.
Run! Quick! Everyone, follow me! Hurry! Come on, we're all gonna die! Are you deaf? Run!
What is it, Darcy?
The fire alarm! Can't you hear it? Do you want to die?
Darcy, the fire alarm is not ringing.
Isn't it?
No.
Then how come I can... Oh... I think I dropped my brain in a blender.
Are you all right, Darcy?
A word of advice. Think twice before sniffing anything that's packaged in a Colombian condom.
Oh, look, here's the letter for you. Give it to me. Well, hang on, it seems to be stuck to my phone bill by an old Australia Post jube. Well, at least I think it's a jube. It's sort of green.
Just give it to me. It's from head office. Surrounded by geriatric dribblers and fools. Oh, Muriel, it's happened. It's finally happened.
What?
I'm on the short list to manage Emerald Pines.
What's Emerald Pines?
It's the company's brand new premium retirement village. It's on an island in the Whitsundays. It boasts a golf course, a float plane, a yacht.
Oh, lavish.
And a staff of sensitive, well-muscled beach boys.
I haven't heard about this.
Joan has. She's got one of the brochures and has already faxed one of the boys on the front cover.
So you'll be leaving Whispering Pines, then?
I haven't got the job yet. It's between me and two others. One I know won't get it because I've sent certain photos to personnel. But the other one could be a challenge.
Have you tried being, you know, nice to the chairman?
Muriel, if the fate goes as well as I expect, and Darcy's head doesn't explode all over the Archbishop, I'll be hanging 10 on a well-muscled beach boy.
Oi! Smoking, smoking.
I'm old enough to vote. I can smoke if I want to.
Not in this house, you won't. I tell you what, it'll stunt your growth.
Get real.
Well, look at you. You're a midget and you're only 19. By the time you're 30, you'll be hanging around with Mr. Sheen.
Yeah.
And remember, this is my house, so any cook smells will be made by me.
Oh, right. What's all that?
That'd be right. 2 years in university and you still don't know what a sack of onions is. Someone should blow students up.
Why have you got a sack of onions?
Look, isn't it obvious?
My grandfather walks in with a sack of onions over his shoulder, and it's obvious why. Let me guess. Your lotto balls dropped last night, so you rushed off to the fruit and veggie markets and bought yourself a sack of onions to celebrate.
Wrong. You're not as smart as you think. The truth is, Miss Bonsai Bunny, I'm going to make the famous Bullpit pickled onions to sell at the fete.
What famous Bullpit pickled onions?
Well, I suppose you're old enough, even though you are a girl.
What's that supposed to mean?
The secret Bullpit recipe has been passed on to the eldest male for generations. And in my grandfather's last letter from Gallipoli, the only thing that wasn't censored was the famous Bullpit secret pickled onion recipe.
Well, if it's secret men's business, should you be telling me?
Well, I don't have much choice. What with your Uncle Craig's problems, I might as well pass it on to you, I suppose.
What's wrong with Uncle Craig?
I don't want to talk about it. I mean, they say he can't help it, but I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. Are you all right, Darcy? Shh.
What's the matter?
Kimasabi, mate, comrade, amigo, I just need to have a bit of a reality check.
Eh?
Now, Ted, first, you're Ted. This is Terry. And I'm Darcy, right?
Yeah.
How many people in the village own a lion?
A what?
A lion! You know, they're big and they roar.
I know what a lion is.
How many people in the village own one?
None.
You sure?
Yeah.
What are you actually on?
Oh, that's all right then. Must have been the Cartwright's poodle. Just makes things look bigger.
What does?
You know, like the time I was pinned to the wall by the puff pastry. So the village is definitely a lion-free zone.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me. I'm all right. I mean, anyone can accidentally see a lion that isn't there, eh? Happens all the time. Oh, well. Adios.
How about that?
Oh, he's a really nice bloke, Darcy. Obviously very brainy.
He's a freak, Luke.
But you just don't understand the jokes. That one about the lion. I must tell it to Jono. Maybe he can explain it to me.
How much for this?
$2.
But that's too cheap. I mean, look at this. This is lovely.
There's a space on my mantle will fit this perfectly.
That's where it came from. You donated it. Just before you donated your brain to science. Ah, Joan, what have we here?
I thought we'd auction some of my more famous clothes.
Ah, fashions of the 30s and 40s. I'm sure they'll come back eventually.
50s and 60s, if you don't mind. This is the pith helmet I wore in the naked lagoon scene in Monsoon Madness. This is one of my bridal gowns. I wore this when I married Bertie.
The 10-day vicar.
11, you forgot the hot rollers.
The scarlet bridal gown, how apt.
This is the famous gown I wore when I got my Logie.
That's a very daring backless number.
It's the front.
Here you are, girlie. Where do you want these?
Ah, Mr. Bullpit, how wonderful to see you. What have you got?
They're my contribution. I made them for the food store.
I made them. He put the Band-Aids on.
Bloody slippery things, onions.
Bullpit's heroic pickled onions, the recipe that came from Gallipoli. What side, ours or theirs?
Watch it. My grandfather fought and died for these onions.
Put them over there. Just a minute, Mr. Bullpit. What do you know about Madge Burroughs' cat being stuffed into a pair of pantyhose and hung on the line last night?
It definitely wasn't me that did it. I love that bloody cat. What's all this? Pickled onions.
Sorry, Ted, you don't understand. As president of the Village Residents Association, I do the pickled onions. I've always done the pickled onions. Haven't I, Muriel?
What?
Sorry, but I'm going to have to pull rank here. There's only room for one batch of pickled onions in this fete, and they are the president's.
You reckon, do you?
Sorry, Ted.
Guess who's not going to sign a certain Order of Australia nomination?
I tell you what. Here's an idea, old mate.
Mate?
How's about we both put our pickled onions in and have a bit of a competition?
What sort of a competition?
A public tasting. Everyone gets to taste both of them and then vote for the winner. In the event of a tie, the Archbishop's vote will be the decider. Fair enough?
You're on.
Ah, good, Ted, mate. Cobber. Now, if you would just put your signature on this, there.
I can't sign there.
Why not?
It says His Grace, the Archbishop of London.
Oh, just there.
I can't do that either.
Why not?
You haven't given me the $50.
You're a hard man, Ted. You are. I think that with a list of signatures that includes a knighted Nobel Prize-winning Archbishop, I will be, as they say around the Vatican, a walk-in.
Please introduce Mr. Johnston.
Johnson, perfect weather you've turned on for us. Thank you, Jen. My wife, Mrs. Johnston, your grace. Johnston?
Thank you.
Moving on in now. We'll have some tea, I think.
There you go. That's 20 jars already.
How many are Jono's?
21.
Well, I better buy another one then.
Free tasting's a real winner. Everyone's trying them.
And this, Your Grace, is the produce tent. Everything here has been made or grown by the residents.
Oh, very impressive.
Have a pickled onion.
Oh, thank you, Mr.
Bullpit. Bullpit.
Oh! For a moment, I thought...
Yeah, everyone says that. Bloody good onions, aren't they?
Very moist.
Try one of mine.
I wouldn't if I were you, Your Gracefulness. Dodgy as a nun with a gun. No offence.
It's only fair you had one of his.
Well, come along, everybody. Afternoon tea.
Savoury, Your Grace.
Ah, more onions. No, thank you. I think I've had quite enough.
Could I impose on Your Grace to add your signature to a petition for an imperial honour for one of our leading residents?
Oh, really? Who?
Me.
Perhaps later, after my talk.
Oh, yes, of course. Later. How stupid of me. Later. You're so right, but you're always right. Later, yes, of course. Thank you. Please.
If you'll excuse me.
Oh, yes, yes, of course. Oh, excuse me.
Samantha, how's it going with the chairman?
Fabulous. From the way he winked at me, I think I'll be off to Emerald Pines. Oh, my God! Go away! You ruined my career, you deranged brat!
More tea, Archbishop.
Oh, thank you. Joan. Joan Collins?
Bertie! Is that you?
Yes. Joan Collins, how amazing.
Yes, I am, aren't I? Oh, Bertie, I've always hated myself for running off just 10 days into our marriage.
11. You forgot the hot rollers.
Bertie, I had no idea you were an archbishop and a Nobel Prize winner and knighted and, dare I say, immensely wealthy.
Well, I never remarried, no family, no one to spend it on.
Only last years to catch up on. We must get together.
Yes, we must.
Villa 5, later on tonight. I'll leave a candle burning for you.
That soon?
We're not getting any younger, Bertie. Let's not waste the moment.
Yes, I suppose you're right. After my speech, I'll slip away. And by the end of the year, we had over 30 schools and a new cathedral. At the opening ceremony, I was standing beside Archbishop Sir Desmond Tutu, who turned to me and said, Sir Desmond Tutu turned to me and said, "Have you heard the church bells?" The bells had been donated by the church fathers. I see no point in continuing with my talk. Thank you very much.
What a disaster, and it's all your fault.
Why does it always have to be my fault?
Because it just does. You are a disaster machine.
There goes my order of Australia. Give me the $50 back, Ted.
I can't. I spent it on me onion stove.
For a moment there, I thought my life was about to change. But no, Mr. Bullpit's bum came into the picture.
It wasn't just me.
It's not me to keep my job, let alone get a promotion.
Why don't we all just try to forget that today ever happened? What would you like? Lovely hot cocoa or gin? I wonder where our Joan is.
Oh, Bertie, that was wonderful.
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
Must you really go?
Oh, yes. A bishop's work is never done.
Promise you'll come back.
Oh, I promise, Joan. Good night.
Your Thursday night of comedy continues next on Prime with It's a Man's World. And 8:30 tonight, Eric Banner is back with his brand new series, Eric.